Well, there were three of us in this marriage, so it was a bit crowded.
As Lady Diana walked down the grand aisle of St. Paul's Cathedral in a white gown and a shy smile, the world cheered as if welcoming a real-life princess from a storybook. But behind the camera flashes and royal celebrations, a deep loneliness began to grow. Diana entered the palace not as a wife, but as a symbol. And slowly she realized that the love behind the palace walls may have never truly existed. Lady Diana Spencer was no ordinary woman. Born into nobility, she was raised in a world of manners and decorum, but also one of silence and strict limitations. At just 20 years old, Diana married Prince Charles, a union that seemed like a fairy tale to the world. On July 29, 1981, millions watched as she walked down the aisle of St. Paul's Cathedral. In a long white gown and a shy smile, Britain celebrated. The world cheered. But, behind that smile, Diana was stepping into a cold palace. A place where love was never guaranteed and rules mattered more than feelings. Within the walls of Buckingham Palace, Diana quickly felt the chill of royal protocol. She was adored by the public, but never truly embraced by the royal family. Diana wasn't just a prince's wife. She was a quiet threat to age-old traditions that feared change. She was young, radiant, and instantly became a media sensation, even more so than her husband. But fame is not happiness. Her popularity only deepened her loneliness. Behind the flashing cameras, Diana often cried alone. She battled eating disorders, depression, and a hollow emptiness that refused to fade. In the very place that was supposed to protect her, she felt like a stranger. She was the people's princess, but never the palace's princess. And slowly Diana began to realize the love she hoped for from the royal family may have never truly existed. Slowly but surely, the fairy tale began to crack. To the public, Diana and Charles were the perfect royal couple. But behind the palace walls, the truth was far darker. The love that was once promised began to fade, replaced by distance, awkward silences, and piercing coldness. Prince Charles had never fully let go of his past. Behind his formal smiles and public handshakes, he maintained a relationship with Camilla Parker Bowles, the woman he had loved before marrying Diana. And Diana knew. At first she tried to endure. She wanted to keep the marriage intact. But wound after wound kept reopening. Diana began to feel like she was just a supporting character in Charles's life. A mother to the heirs. Not a true partner. As the years went by, Diana began to speak out. Not to the royal family but to the world. She secretly collaborated with Andrew Morton, a journalist who wrote her life story in the book, Diana, Her True Story. A book that exploded like a bomb within the royal household. Diana told it all. Her feelings of neglect, her struggle with bulimia, and the emptiness within the palace walls. The breaking point came with her historic interview with the BBC in 1995. With a calm yet piercing voice, Diana delivered a line that shook the monarchy.
Well, there were three of us in this marriage, so it was a bit crowded.
The public was stunned, but they stood by Diana. For the first time, people realized their princess was not the heroine of a fairy tale, but a victim of a system that spared no one, not even the most beloved woman in the world. And the royal family began to feel threatened. But the greatest threat didn't come from within the palace. It came from a night in Paris that changed everything. What really happened that night? And could death truly be arranged like a plan? The answer isn't as beautiful as a fairy tale. The next chapter of this story will be released tomorrow. Don't miss the next part of this story. Because once Diana's voice was heard, that's exactly when the effort to silence her began. Thank you for watching. Remember, every shot tells a story worth remembering. Subscribe, and see you in the next One Shot History.